take a look or either a step back and reevaluate where you are and where you want to be in your career. And for me, it's more so about assessing my goals, assessing what I truly want, and really helping me kind of align with my passions and set new goals and chart a path forward. This is Girl Take Note, a podcast for women who are looking to turn their dreams into reality. Hey guys, welcome back to the Girl Take Note podcast, where we help you turn your passions into profits. I'm your host, Shaunie Sanders. And today we're going to continue with my series called Surviving a Job Loss. If you haven't heard the series, please go back and listen to the last, I think maybe 3 or 4 episodes. So in this series, I want us to talk about something that is another step in this job loss process for me. And that is reassessing your career goals and finding clarity in a crisis, right? One of the things I know about being on this journey is that it's been a lot of ups and downs. It's been a lot of emotions for me. And losing a job is undoubtedly a challenging experience, but it can also be an opportunity to take a look, right? To take a look or either a step back and reevaluate where you are and where you want to be in your career. And for me, it's more so about assessing my goals, assessing what I truly want, and really helping me kind of align with my passions and set new goals and chart a path forward that is not only sustainable for me, but also fulfilling. And I think it's important for us to kind of reassess, because when you go through something like this, you want to reassess what's happening to you. And you want to make sure that you are acknowledging your feelings, because people don't understand that when you suffer a job loss, it is a detrimental blow to you. And it's not so much the job. And I said this before, it's not so much the loss of the job. It's the loss of the income that comes with the job. That's what we're really grieving over here. But let's talk about reflections, right? It's important to take some time to think about your career path up to this point. And when you have, and I guess what you've enjoyed most about your previous roles, because I had to really assess that, like, what did I enjoy most about the roles that I had in the past? What do I enjoy most about working for those companies, like those type of structured companies? And what aspects of the job did I find less satisfying? And I would think that when you reflect on these questions, right, reflect on these types of questions can provide really valuable insight into what you want from your career moving forward. And it was a pivotal point for me to assess my career, because when I think about job hunting now and the fact that I worked in tech, I have a background in product management and technology, and where a lot of companies are still laying off in this field. And so it made me feel like, okay, I need to reassess what skill sets I have, what I believe is transferable to any other industry. Because I really had to figure out another way, because I'm looking at these different jobs and I'm like, man, I'm either overqualified for certain things, or it's just such a different path from what I'm used to doing that it's probably difficult for me to kind of get into that type of, just into that type of field, because I've seen so many other opportunities, but I'm just thinking to myself, well, how am I going to do that when my background is so product driven? So tech driven. So what I thought about doing it is keeping a journal where I can jot down like just my thoughts and feelings, right? And I feel like when you write things down, you can really help your process. You can help yourself process the emotions, and you can gain a lot of clarity. And so I think about the projects and tasks that excited me at my previous jobs, right? That made me kind of feel accomplished. And those reflections, I feel like, can really help me or you identify patterns that will guide you in setting your next career goals. Because your next career goals might be another job opportunity, or it might be entrepreneurship. But I think when you're able to sit back and reassess and think about the previous roles you've done, the opportunities you've had, the achievements you have in that role, how do you redefine that, right? And put that into something new? Like I said, either that's a new career opportunity or that's entrepreneurship. And a part of that too, I felt like, is identifying what my strengths and skills are. And so being able to focus on that I really had to ask myself a few questions, right? So I had to ask myself, what are you good at? What unique skill do you bring to the table? Because we always trying to think about that. And so in order for me to do that, I had to take inventory of my abilities and consider how they could be applied in different contexts. And sometimes we get so caught up, right, in our job titles that we forget about our valuable skills we've developed along the way. And I got so caught up. Like I said before, I got so caught up in the job title in the last episode about how your job title just doesn't define you. But I got really caught up in that job title. But I had to think about what skills did I have? Like, what unique things did I bring to the table? Like, what really made me get that job? And I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. The last job I had, what truly got me the job was my passion for what I do. It wasn't my skill set. It wasn't the fact that my resume really spoke to the position. It was the fact that I spoke to my boss so passionately about what I do, right? About what I was doing, what I would do for them, and how it excited me in the past. And it changed his mood. Like I think he said to the recruiter that he was having a bad day, and that when he spoke to me, I perked his day up because of how passionate I was about it. And so sometimes it can be just a passion that you have for something that can really convince people that this is the person for the job. And so I had to think about, well, that kind of what sets me, that's kind of what my unique skill is that I'm a very passionate person. I'm a multi-passionate person. So I have multi-passions. But with that job, it was just so easy for me to do. And so being able to figure out what you're good at, what your unique skill that you bring to the table can really help you in your job search or in the next phase of your career. Listen, I'm 49 years old. And so I'm thinking about just retirement, right? And so for me, it's about not just finding another position, but building something that can leave a legacy in. And sometimes in order to figure out those things that you're really good at, because although I'm doing this assessment, I still had to figure out what I'm really good at. So you know what I did? I had to reach out to other colleagues or mentors and friends that I've had and kind of ask them some feedback. They can give you a different type of perspective on your skills and your strengths. And it kind of remind me that, hey, you know what? You are pretty good at a lot of different things. And if you're thinking the same things you're good at and other people reaffirm that, then you know what? Then that means that's what you're really good at. That's your unique skill. And additionally, consider talking, taking maybe some online assessments too, to identify what your strengths are and how they can be, or either how they can align with your potential career path going forward or just new opportunities going forward. There's a lot of skills assessment things online that you can do. And I haven't done those, but when I did my research, I realized that, I can do that type of thing where I can assess my skills and try to figure out what's really unique, pull those things out. Because sometimes when you do go to these interviews, people always ask you that question. And I always hate that question. Like, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? Me, my skills, my personality, everything, right? But being able to do like an assessment can really kind of help you hone in on what those skills are that you uniquely bring to the table or either to the particular job position that you're trying to get. And so I really think that asking yourself those type of questions and being able to understand what your true skills are can really help you push a path forward. And for me, what skills were that I really wanted to do something different. Listen, I'm going into the next 50 years of my life. And in this next 50 years of my life, I want to do something that I'm really passionate about. I want to do something that I can see myself doing for the duration, right? And so for me, entrepreneurship was a easy path to that because it's something that I'm very passionate about, something that I talk with guests on this show about. And they always excite me when I get to hear their story. I get to hear their ups and downs, that it's not easy for everybody, although they're at the other end of it because now they're on the successful side of it. But everybody has a story. Everybody has beginning points. Everybody gets there in like due time. And so being able to assess what I'm good at in my leadership ability, because for a long time, I'm going to tell you guys, I really doubted myself when it comes to leadership, when it comes to leading time or just being a leader. It's a scary feeling when you step into a leadership role because so much is expected of you. but also it's the pressure that you put on yourself and like, can I even do this? Can I really lead people, department, like whatever this is, can I do this? And I think in my last role, I proved to myself that yes, you can do it. You do have those leadership skills. You do have that leadership ability. And leadership is something you can always work on. Styles are different, but it's something you can continue working on. And so it felt good to be in that position of a decision maker in that organization. So I just, just think about some of those and reassess your skill set and see what you're good at and how now you could take those things that you're good at and that are uniquely defined towards you into something different, into something new. And it doesn't have to be entrepreneurship. Like I said, it can just be a new career path. Because at one point, I was thinking about like, okay, maybe I'm going to have to move out of product and move into a different type of career path because the opportunities are not coming. So it's always something that I had to explore. And so speaking on that, now that I had a clearer understanding of what my strengths are and my skills are, it was time for me to explore new opportunities. And so I like how I just led right into this, and so, but this is also where the fun begins. When you're in this job loss survivor mode and you're going through all these different stages, because there's different stages of it. Shit is almost like different stages of grief. So there's different stages of it, but this is where I think the fun began for me, is that I was able to start researching industries and roles that interest me, right? And I was able to look for job descriptions that excite me and that kind of match my skill set. And that's why I said I would have to consider moving from my tech role into something different. And something more, maybe marketing, maybe development. I really didn't know, but I was just looking at different opportunities and saying, you know what, it doesn't hurt to apply for certain things and it doesn't hurt to try. And so you have to consider sometimes the current market trends, right? And you have to consider emerging industries. You have to look at things that might not be what you want to do, but might be what you really can do and maybe even excel in. Because I feel like we get so comfortable in our career path that when it comes time to pivot into something else, it's scary, it's hard, and it's a lot of uncertainty there. And so I faced that myself. And I said, okay, Shaunie, if you're going to pivot and you're going to do this career transition, you're going to have to really look for something that can match your skill set, not the job that you did, not the job description, last job description you have, but what skills do you bring to the table? That's what I had to think about, because, the landscape and the world is constantly changing. And so new career opportunities are always arising. New emerging industries are always arising, right? Like AI is really becoming a big industry for us. And they're always looking for a lot of people who can work on AI technology and just help move AI forward, because that is going to be a lot of what the future is going to be about. And so we have to think about what growing industries can we look at, what range of roles that can offer, from like project management to digital marketing and remote work also. Like, I love remote work. Don't get me wrong. I'm a girl that wants to do remote work because I feel like remote work has opened up so many opportunities that were previously inaccessible. And then you're able to do things at the comfort of your home. You don't have to have so much time spent commuting, spent inside the job. Like, it's so different now with that remote landscape. The job market landscape, period, and how we get work done has completely changed. And we have to adjust to it. So you have to know that we have to make some adjustments and we have to look at those new emerging markets. And we can't be afraid, especially as we get older. We can't be afraid to go after those opportunities, because I know a lot of times, and I thought about this myself, do I have to consider my age? I'm 49 years old. I'll be 50 in a few months. Do I have to consider now that I'm competing with a lot of younger people who are hungry, who are ready, I'm competing with them for these jobs. So do I now have to think about ageism? That was like a real consideration for me while I'm looking for work. Do I have to consider ageism? Do I have to worry about the fact that my resume can age me? Not only do I have all this great experience and I know I'm overly qualified and I can qualify to do the job, but does my resume age me? And if that's the case, is that the reason why no opportunities have come? I really had to think about that. I'm so serious. No matter how young your girl look, because don't get me wrong, honey, I look young for my age, right? Like you were to meet me in person, of course, you're not going to say, oh yeah, you look exactly like you're 49, about to be 50. No, you won't say that. But when you're applying, blind applying, it's just a resume that's speaking for you, a resume and a cover letter. LinkedIn, yeah, you see my photo, but at the same time, my resume ages me. So I really had to think about that too when I thought about changing industries or just looking for work in my own industries. But we can't be afraid to pivot. And we have to remember that it's okay to pivot and to try something new. Because honestly, our careers are a journey. Like if you think back on your careers that you've had throughout your life when you started working, like I started working when I was probably like 13 in a nursing home as a waitress in a nursing home. Like Florida has all these nursing homes and you could be a waitress. And I was a waitress there. My mother got me that job. And I had so many things since then. So your career is a journey and sometimes it can take a very unexpected turn. And I had to learn that. So I had to learn to embrace the opportunity to grow and learn. That's really what I had to do. And it's been a fun journey. I'm not going to lie. Like don't get me wrong. It's been stressful, right? It has been stressful. Don't let me sit here and tell you that it has not been stressful, because it has been stressful. When you lose income, a lot of things come across your mind. And it's a stressful time, moments of anxiety. Like I said before, coping with the loss of it has been hard, right? But also opportunities to do something new can excite you. Looking at what your true skill set is can really help you identify roles that match your skill set versus just a job description. And also setting new goals, new goals for yourself, new opportunities. When you're able to set new goals, you can explore new opportunities. And so it's time to do that. So if you're in a place where you're like, I'm in this job, this is even for people who have been in jobs that they just kind of want to get out of. Because I understand that we can get in a job and we can get stuck, right? We can get stuck in a position and it's 10 years down the line and we haven't made not one step to do something different. But yet we'll come to this job every day. We'll complain about it every day, but we won't do anything different. So start setting yourself new goals for yourself. Setting short-term goals that will help you transition into your next role. I think that's important because, these can include anything like just updating your resume, right? Enhancing your LinkedIn profile or gaining a new certification, investing in yourself, investing in your skill set. These things can really help you grow and help you really move forward in your career. So if you're looking to make that jump from a job that you've been in that you don't really like, then try setting new goals for yourself. Like I said, take it day by day. You don't have to rush into anything. You can definitely take your time with it, but setting new goals for yourself, updating your resume, making sure that it's meeting the standards of resumes for today, right? And there's so many things that can help you with that. ChatGPT can help you rewrite your resume to make it more current, and updating your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is such a great way to meet people, to network with other companies and get to see a company culture before you actually get into it. And then you want to set some long-term goals that align with your vision for your future, where you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years. And I know we all hate that question. And I hate that question when it comes up in an interview, because you want to say, I don't know if I see myself here with you for the next 5 or 10 years. But it's a great question to ask yourself about your future, your plans. Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years? You could still see yourself working for the same company, or you say, you know what, I want to do something different. I see myself working in a different industry, or I see myself pursuing entrepreneurship. Like it's whatever it is that you want. I think that long-term goal should be something you work towards and you take the right steps to get there. That's what it takes. Today's job seeker, when they're younger, when these young kids come out of college, their mindset is so different from those of my age, right? Because we were like, oh, you go to college, you get out, you get a job, and you work that job until you die. No matter if you like it or not. Today's mindset is more so you get out, you find something you passionate, like you graduate from college, you find what you're passionate about. That could either be working for a top company, or that can be moving into, I don't know, social media influencing, or anything else, right? Entrepreneurship. The mindset is just so different from the young generation today. When they get out of college, their mindset is really so much focused on work-life balance. They want to be able to travel. They want to be able to enjoy their lives. They think about their mental health. They think about the treatment that they get at work, where those things we did not think about. We just thought about, you got to get a job, you want to make a good salary so you can take care of yourself, you take care of your family. That's what it was. But now the mindset is different, and sometimes we have to adopt. We have to adapt, that is, to that mindset. And there's nothing wrong with that. So you got to figure out what steps you need to take to get there. So if we set these long-term goals, or even these short-term goals for ourselves, we still have to figure out, okay, so what steps do I need to achieve these goals? And I know I'm about to say something that you all are like, okay, girl, we know, but you need to set some SMART goals. I know people hate SMART goals, but when it comes to your life and your future, you need to set goals that are very specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. The time bound piece, I think, in SMART goals are so important, because we all can set SMART goals, right? And I think that's also the relevant and realistic, right? We can set SMART goals, but we never set a time limit to them. We don't set a time in terms of like, okay, so when am I supposed to achieve this goal? And so being able to set a date and time in terms of like when you want to achieve something really kind of holds you accountable. If you're really serious about it, and if you really want to work this thing, it holds you accountable for what you say and what you said you're going to do. And if you're serious about it. So, and also it just can help you stay focused and motivated, because once you see yourself like towards a goal, like you're actually about to hit this particular goal, you're like, oh, wow, I'm really working towards something. And I think we all need to do that. We all need to set goals for ourselves that are realistic. Now, please set realistic goals, because sometimes our goals can be so high level to the point where when you're going to reach that, you're not going to reach it. Right. And so I had to set goals for myself, too. I had to figure out, what is it that you really want to do? I mean, this really does come down to, what do I really want to do? What's really going to make me happy? What's really going to bring me joy? Right? What's really going to bring me that joy I want? I'm at a place in my life in the next 50 years. I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. I want to enjoy what I do. I don't want to just do it just for the money. That's a young person's game. I want to enjoy it. And so I think being able to do these kind of things gives you that roadmap for reassessing your career goals and finding clarity during a crisis of a job loss. Really, I think these steps can help. And you have to remember that it's all about reflection, identifying your strengths, exploring new opportunities, and setting achievable goals for yourself. That's what it's about. And if you can do those things, then you can achieve something really great and pull yourself out of whatever rut you may be in. Because these are the things I had to do to really pull myself out of it. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I still have moments of anxiety. I still have moments of doubt and fear, right? Imposter syndrome. But I'm sticking to my goals that I set for myself. And I'm going to definitely see myself achieving them. And I still do. Like, I hit goals, mini goals, right? Small goals all the time. And it does excite me. I don't know. It gives me some kind of rush, make me feel like an it girl as much as I can at my age. So, all right, listen, you have the power to turn this setback into stepping stones for a brighter future, right? Turn this setback into a comeback. You have the power to do it. Only you do. No one else can do this for you. You have to be the one to do it for yourself. That's what I had to realize. No one can do this for me. Only I can do it. I'm the only one that can get up and motivate myself to start my day, to set time, to time block my day, to give me something to get up and work towards. And so that's what I've been doing. Now, before we wrap up this episode, I'm going to let you guys know that it doesn't get any easier, right? Life is one of those things where we're going to have to deal with ups and downs, no matter what. No matter what, we're going to have to deal with ups and downs, but we're going to have to figure out our best way to handle them. Because sometimes it can be a very big blow to us. And it's like I said, it doesn't get easy when you go through challenges. It doesn't get easier to deal with challenges, right? We all have that moment of doubt. We all have that moment of fear. But at some point, we begin a shift and we begin to turn, and the resilience in us begin to come out. So give yourself permission to mourn it. Give yourself permission to feel however you want to feel. I don't care what no one tell you. Everyone will tell you, oh, you need to be positive. Yes, I am going to be positive. But right now, I want to be sad in this moment. And you have the right to that. So make sure you do. Make sure you have the right. Make sure you explore the right to express your feelings. And I think that's okay to do. Now, listen, I want you to make sure you guys come back for the next episode, because the next episode, we're going to be talking about networking strategies after a job loss. And so how you build connections in 2024. And you don't want to miss this episode. Trust me, because we're going to be sharing some invaluable tips on how to build your professional network outside of a job loss and open new doors of opportunities in your career. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure you subscribe, rate, and leave a review, because your feedback always helps us create great content that empowers and inspires you along your journey. I am Shaunie Sanders. This is the Girl Take No Podcast, and I will talk to you next time.